Hi, I'm Irving. Let's talk about Irwin. It's been an up and down season for his latest escapade, but Land of the Giants has gotten decent ratings, people are talking about it, and it's an established part of ABC's Sunday night lineup. Let's wrap up the season and leave them wanting more.
How did they get caught? The SID men were chasing us through the park. I managed to get Barry away and send him back to the ship. By that time, it was too late to help Fitzhugh and the girls.
They're outside SID headquarters because they know sooner or later their friends will end up here in the clutches of Inspector Kobick. And sure enough, moments later, Kobick pulls up in his car and goes inside, carrying one of the distinctive box-like cages that he likes to catch little people in. Steve says, now we know where they are, so we'll come back tonight and spring them. These guys appear to be up to no good. The guy closest to our heroes has his window down, so let's listen in.
Naylor, those three little people.
Leave it to me, Dad. I'll play it by ear.
You'll play it by order.
If our information is right, they can lead Kobick straight to us.
Which is why you must capture them. I said capture them, as well as destroy the files in Kobick's wall safe.
I doubt the little people even know who you are, and they don't even want to lead Kobick to themselves. Why would they lead him to you?
Kobick!
Yes.
Give me the keys to that wall safe.
Remember the scene in Tombstone with Johnny Tyler in the street? Wyatt tells him to leave the shotgun before he goes. When Tyler tries to hand it to him, he points to the ground and says, just leave it. In his various interviews and reminiscences, one thing Wyatt Earp emphasized was not giving the other guy any chance to do that to you. If possible, stay out of reach, and if you need something from him, tell him to put it on the floor and slide it over. Kobick knows that. Our friend Naylor doesn't. Outside, a gun battle breaks out and the old man is hit. The attackers have to speed away, having accomplished nothing. Who are they and what's in those files they want so badly? Kobick doesn't care about that right now. He's making sure the little people are okay.
Nothing to be afraid of.
It wasn't my doing. She badly injured.
I'm all right.
Look, please believe me, the SID doesn't want to harm you. The fact that you were brought to the Supreme Council first is evidence that we need your cooperation.
But they didn't say what kind of cooperation.
He'd rather discuss that with the captain since they're just girls, or something like that. He'll keep the other two as hostages, but he gives Valerie a note and says, take this to your captain. I promise you won't be followed. And we believe him, right? Right? Right?
Captain Burton, we of the government authorities need the services of yourself and one other of the younger men in your party. For these services, I am authorized to promise you the following. Release of the two hostages in my custody as you read this, and a guarantee of safety for all of your people as long as you remain within the jurisdiction of this government.
Safety. Considering Kobick's record so far, I'm going to assume he means safely tucked away in his little cages where he can protect them and keep them safe from everything, except him. The note says, please come to my office so we can talk about it. He really thinks on the strength of that note, Steve is just going to come bebopping into the office and say, here I am.
Is Inspector Kobick there?
He's out in the field. Can I help you?
Well, this is Steve Burton. He wanted to talk to me.
Oh, yes. Can you hold on a moment, please? Trace the incoming call.
As if they don't know he's going to do that. Steve gets on the line with Kobick and immediately hangs up. A few minutes later, he calls again. While Kobick is waiting, his team has found the van that was used in the attack. Now they can listen in on Kobick's conversation with the little people. Their dad is hurt bad, but if he can lie still for a few days, he'll live.
I couldn't grab the little people, and I didn't get the keys to Kobick's safe.
Don't look back. Try again and again.
Dad, please, don't talk. Just try to rest.
If he can lie still. It's a weird psychological phenomenon that the more someone tells you not to do something, the more your body wants to do it. Lie still, every muscle starts to fidget. Tell someone don't smile or don't laugh, and you're guaranteed the opposite result. No, I won't do it.
So far, our counterfeiting has quadrupled the amount of currency in circulation. Before long, we'll bring this government to financial ruin.
Now we know why Kobick is so desperate. Steve is on the line again.
As my message said, I need 2 little persons at once.
Well, you already have 2 of us.
I know. One's a woman. The other an older man. I thought my message made it clear. I need 2 men. Young and vigorous.
Like Betty, you mean. But she has indoor plumbing, so she's not vigorous enough. Not only is Kobick a liar, he's a sexist. But we knew that. He says the safety of our nation is at stake. Steve says, then we're in a pretty good position to bargain, aren't we?
There'll be no bargaining. None at all.
Well, now listen.
No, you listen to me, Burton. We know where you are this very moment, and as soon as you walk out of that house, every exit, every vent, every crack under the door will have an SID man in front of it.
Okay, maybe they're not in a pretty good position to bargain. On the other hand, Steve is in a good position to say, fine, screw you. Capture us and you can do your own dirty work, whatever it is. We'll refuse to cooperate, and we know the Supreme Council won't let you punish us because they still want our technology. He won't think of that. They hang up immediately, but just to prove his point, Kobick calls him back. Oh, crap.
And they were waiting as Kobick said?
Yeah, the place was surrounded. Steve told me to hide while he and Mark gave themselves up.
Well, if you could hide, why couldn't they?
Because the SID knew we were there and they were tearing the house apart. And Kobick was satisfied once he got his hands on Steve and Mark.
Dan isn't sure they can do anything for Steve and Mark, but they'll go back tonight and try to free Betty and Fitzhugh. Speaking of whom...
We knew you would come.
We had no choice.
Now wait, stop.
Those pylons around them are creating a force field that will incinerate anybody who tries to cross it. They have force field technology, something we don't have, but they need to study our technology to learn how to do space flight. They put all their R&D into ways to incarcerate people and none into exploration and the advancement of knowledge. Sounds to me like this government needs a serious adjustment of priorities. So what are these 2 vigorous men supposed to do?
This is a map of the city's drain system.
What's it for?
To help me locate a counterfeiting ring operating somewhere in this city.
You need us to crack a counterfeit ring?
It's threatening to bankrupt our state. The counterfeits are perfect.
Well, why don't you get your own men to find them?
Well, frankly, they've been too smart for us.
Why do I get the feeling it's not that difficult? They've made one mistake, though. The ink used on this world's currency is slightly luminescent. The counterfeiters have been carelessly pouring their leftover ink down the drain, and the SID has managed to find an outlet where the ink eventually goes. But they don't have any way to track the ink back to its source. That's where Steve and Dan come in.
You release our 2 friends first, and we'll help you find your counterfeiters.
I made no agreement to release your people first.
No, we're making that deal right now. Do try to keep up.
Oh, payment in advance or no deal.
I want to show my good faith, but I won't allow you to hold me up. I'll release the man, but I'm keeping the woman. That's my offer. My only offer.
He says, take it or leave it. The alternative is I keep all of you. And that's going to do him a whole lot of good when they refuse to do his mission, isn't it? Steve could probably hold out for Betty's release too, but he isn't going to push it. Kobick's a little too unstable. He turns a key in a wall switch and Fitzhugh goes free.
Say, Inspector, how do we keep in contact with your people when we're in that drain system?
By radio. What frequencies do your portable radios operate on?
Well, that's our secret, but we'll keep in touch with you on 100 kilocycles.
He gives them a pair of tiny flashlights and down into the drain they go.
Spitzer it.
Spindrift!
Come in. Dan, Steve's calling in. Steve, where are you?
Go ahead, Steve. Are you and Mark okay?
Well, for the moment. Is Fitzhugh back yet?
Steve, Fitzhugh just arrived. What's going on?
While Mark was keeping Kobick busy with questions, Steve was giving Fitzhugh some very specific instructions. His first order of business is to tell Dan the whole story and warn him about the force field. Then they're to go back to Kobick's office and find a way to get Betty out of there. Incidentally, Steve and Mark have 2 radios, one tuned to Kobick and the other one tuned to Dan and the Spindrift. Kobick doesn't need to know that. The counterfeiters are listening in, and they know it's just a matter of time before the little people find them. They can't move their dad, so their only alternative is to eliminate the little people. Now the question is, how?
Hello, Steve. This is Dan. Come in.
Dan, I'm right here.
I'm just outside the SID building. Fitzhugh and Valerie are with me. Kobick's car is out front, so that probably means he's still in his office. Is there any way you can get him out so we can get in?
Steve knows what to tell Kobick to make that happen.
You haven't lost the trail, have you?
No, we gained one. We've got 2 different colors. One is going up the main drain, and the other one is going up the left branch drain.
That's impossible. There can't be 2 colors. There's only one luminous ink used.
Look, I'm not going to argue with you. Those are the facts.
He says you need to get a chemist down here to analyze these inks so we know which one to follow. He gives the coordinates and Kobick is on his way. Dan has built a nice long cord that Fitzhugh will plug into the wall. The other end has a coil on it that Dan will throw into the force field. It should short the whole thing out. Or not. Now they don't know what to do because Kobick is on his way back. They know the little people are in that area because they just watched Kobick drive away. They move to the next vent up the line and set up another of those things. Our heroes are boxed in with poison gas coming from all directions.
This is Kobick. Go ahead, Bert.
We're being gassed. Clear it out or we're dead.
What's your location?
Hold on. D4.
I understand.
He tells his crews to go uncover all vents in that area and heads out again without having seen Dan, Valerie, and Fitzhugh. Later, he reports to Steve that the machines have been removed and vacuum pumps are pulling out the last of the exhaust. They should be good to keep moving, and this attempt on their lives should help them understand how important it is to catch these counterfeiters. Just imagine if that had been real exhaust and not counterfeit. Before long, they've found the place. First, check in with Dan. If he hasn't been able to free Betty, they'll make sure Kobick does before they tell him where they are.
Dan wasn't able to break through the force field. Now he and Fitzhugh are trying to smash one of the electrodes. Hold it, Steve. Dan, are you all right? Fitzhugh, come on, get him.
They'll be okay, but they'll be okay inside the force field with Betty because Kobick just came in and caught them.
So you didn't trust me to turn your friend loose, hmm? Well, you were right. I have plans for all of you.
He treats them like this, and he still expects Steve and Mark to help him stop the rebels from bringing down a government that employs people like him. While Steve was listening to Kobick's betrayal, Mark was listening to something else.
Listen, those guys in there are the same ones who bombed Kobick's office today. They were trying to destroy some kind of evidence against himself.
And so what?
Well, so we were wrong about them. They're not really criminals. They're just trying to bring down the giant government by flooding the market with phony money.
They're not criminals. They're just trying to do a thing by breaking the law. That's different. But thanks to Kobick, they're ready to hear the rebels' side of things.
Sir?
What's the little people?
Hey, wait a minute. We're on your side. Hold on. We didn't even have to show ourselves here.
Wait a minute. You give him a chance to talk.
Hammerhead there really wants to bash them, but finally Dad says, knock it off, sit down and listen.
We've located
Location.
Area 13.
Can you pinpoint it?
Let's see, the coordinates F12. You want us to wait here?
Yes.
That gets him out of there for a while, and the location Steve gave him is a little park with a couple of benches. And by the way, Steve and Mark are nowhere near that park. That's the lock to Kobick's safe. Each of those divots is a keyhole. Steve reaches in and trips each one, then Mark brings him back down. Time for phase 2. He runs over to Kobick and says, "The little people threw something down that drain."
I'll get help.
That should keep him busy just long enough. Steve and Mark have reached the table where the others are. Now we have another question. What part of this stuff is the evidence against them?
It's all right. It's all right. This'll take care of everything.
Answer? Who cares?
What's going on? What are you doing in here?
What department are you with?
Why, we're with this one.
A bullet in the wall switch shuts the force field off, the rebels collect the little people, and we're out of here.
Get in!
And just to rub his nose in it, we make our escape in Kobick's car.
Here, I almost thought we could trust Kobick.
Whatever happened to that old rule of yours about trusting no giant?
Yeah. Well, we'll find us a friend someday.
I believe you just did. The Eckord family from last episode are your friends for life, and so are a lot of other people you've helped. It's not their fault Irwin spends so much of the budget on the giant props he can't afford to bring any of them back. But they have made some serious friends in this world, and I have a feeling if any of those people knew the little people were in real danger, they'd be right there advocating for them. Over the past 26 episodes, we've established that these are decent people, they're here through no fault of their own, and really don't want to do anything but find a way home. The rumors the government is circulating about them are lies. Many people in the giant world are starting to realize that, and people talk. If they can do enough good deeds like this one, maybe word of mouth will get more folks on their side, and the ones like Kobick will get enough pressure from the public to leave these little human beings in peace. There's only one way to find out. Come back with me after a little break, and let's see what happens in Season 2. I'm Irving. As always, thank you for watching.
I have plans for all of you.